Hi guys, so it's NastyJones here, and we'll be going through the match review with Athletic Club, where Arsenal trashed Athletic Club 3 goals to nil. And I'm here with a friend of mine, Aces. Uh,
Hi guys.
what's good?
It's all good. Pleasure to be here. I think maiden podcast is it?
Uh, this will be our first podcast,
Super
and
excited.
so what's going on? I noticed a change in the lineup today, and I'll say that change made us win the game. What was the change I noticed? Miles Lewis Kelly. I think he's been having a rough game since he signed his contract. It was looking very off in the game against Villarreal, and Calafiori came on for him today and he was looking very, very sharp. I get everyone is fighting for their position in the squad, and is I feel Calafiori is keeping Luis Kelly on his toes. To me, I felt that position made us win the game today. What do you think?
So let me start by saying the collective performance of the team in the Villarreal game
Yeah,
is not too dissimilar to the performance we saw today. The major thing is difference in personnel, and I don't think it's an issue of Miles Lewis Kelly being the reason why or his performance leading to or him not starting is the reason why we got the win today. I think there are other factors involved, and quite rightly so. You're correct to point out the difference in personnel that started the match. I personally think Calafiori is a live wire. I think I've mentioned that to you before offline, that's outside of the podcast, that Calafiori is a live wire. Live wire in the sense that he makes things happen. He is more dynamic. He is like if you've got a fullback that could do everything you expect a you expect a central midfielder to do. He is good at passing. He's good at interplay. He is good at you know getting up and down the pitch. Now, do not forget the reason why Miles Lewis Kelly played as many games as he did last season is because of Calafiori's unavailability. If you
yeah, that's
recall
true.
the Milan game where we played Milan, Calafiori started and he was absolutely unplayable. He kind of makes our left hand side come alive when he's on. Recall the goal he scored against Man City when it was I think we're 1-0 down, and
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
says it was a cross, but then it kind of found its way to the back of the net. That's that live wire. That's that Italian league thing. That's that, oh, I'm here to make something happen. Now, Miles Lewis Kelly, on the other hand, we should not forget he's 18. He's not supposed to have played as many matches as he has, so he will have his occasional poor game. And I think he gets into a situation where he has this confidence in his physicality that he can use his body to shield the ball very well and win fouls. So he's very confident in that. What he doesn't see, and that is can be attributed to a lack of experience in the first team or lack of experience playing at a very high level consistently, is that when you start being that player that likes to use his body, you actually
yeah.
start inviting a lot of physical challenges. People want to get into it with you. Happened with Odobert, happened with Richarlison, happened with Kudus a lot in the Tottenham game. And if he had started the game today, he it would have definitely happened. If you recall the number seven for Athletic Club got into a tussle with Lewis Kelly, and Skelly actually did get a yellow card for it.
Yeah, I
That
felt that. I felt
physical,
yeah, that shows like I think he has been frustrated for some while now, and
yeah,
he's a guy that doesn't want to he doesn't like to accept failure, or he doesn't like to accept a bad game.
yeah. See,
Whenever he plays a bad game, you always want to like show up and let people know that yes, I'm back again.
that mentality that we've applauded him for. That is that
Yeah.
mentality, right? But then again,
So
Waneri did not play as many games as like Miles Lewis Kelly did,
Yeah,
Palmet Aseka mentioned something. He said when those players are brought up to the first team, the first thing because they have like a specialist in the club hierarchy that's in charge of looking at player progression and player development to see who needs to go on loan, who needs to get minutes. And the first thing they said was Waneri has a technical ability to be a success in the Premier League, similar to Max Daumann. They've noticed that they by technical ability, I mean ability on the ball, passing, turning, and everything, right? Well,
yeah.
we know the Premier League is the most physically intense league in all of Europe, right? Might I say the whole world, right? It's a very
Mhm.
physical league. A lot of people are running. You've got players who clock 30 kilometer per hour ish, I think, when they recorded it. So we had about more than 10 players last season that clocked more than 30 kilometers per hour speed running on the pitch, right? So that's not the same for other leagues. And it was said that Miles Lewis Kelly physically was ready for the league more than Ethan and more than Max Dowman and some of the other players we had, Omari Hutchinson, some of the other guys who've left, right? The only other person who was physically ready at that age was Saka, and we saw Saka really explode because of him simply being able to use his body to shield the ball. But Saka is also a very technical player. Now, in the case of Miles Lewis Kelly, I think Calafiori is better than him technically. I mean, the understanding of the game, the interplay, the passing, the running, the tackling itself, Calafiori is just a bit better. But then again, Calafiori has
Oh,
good 5 years on Lewis Kelly himself. So I wouldn't want to
yeah.
put it down to him. I also want to mention, right, that the personnel change today saw Odegaard and Saka start for the first time in all of our preseason games. They've always been the case where one of them starts and then they take one off, put in the other. We even got the should I call it the upsetting change the other day when we removed the striker to play Mikel Merino up front in top nine. Right. There are some games where Trossard started. There are some games where Saliba was partnered with Kiwior. But today was the first day we really saw what looked like our usual first team: Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. So not just White, Gabriel, Saliba, Timber. So again, the backline was a bit settled and Lewis Kelly was left out of it. So this looks like what our go-to first 11 would look like. Right, Zubimendi also started, so it's not just on Lewis Kelly. Is that the personnel change today was kind of optimized for us to get the win, and quite frankly, so he's been having. I wouldn't say poor games. I would say he's not been up to the standard we've seen him deliver in like towards the tail end of last season. I
Yeah.
had a video of him out jumping Dan Burn, who's like the tallest player in the Premier League, right? He jumped higher than him to win a header, so we know he's got it. But is it a case of having played too many games for his age? Is it a case of we're relying too much on a very young player to play a very critical position in our system? That will leave to the coach to decide.
Yeah. So, if we're moving on from there, we see the three goals that came in. We got an assist from Zubimendi, and a goal from Gyökeres, which was absolutely amazing. He could have made it two. I think he's very good with the headers. Uh, what we say about the first goal?
So let me start by saying I tuned in today, right? When I
Yeah,
saw the lineup, I tuned in today to watch um, Zubimendi. And just a bit of backstory, I'm pretty sure one of my guys will see this. In 2022, I think, Man United played a match against Real Sociedad. It
yeah.
was a Europa League game, and I usually don't watch United, but I hate watch them just because it's fun, right?
Hmm.
So I tuned in to hate watch United, and Merino was still there at the time. I think Isak was still. I'm not entirely sure, but it wasn't too. It wasn't too. It was a season when we really were pushing for the league, right? And while I was watching that game, I sent a message to my friend to say I found a player that I think will be the perfect DM for any club. And he was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" I said, "You know how we're always talking about how good TP5, I don't want to call his full name, but the previous defensive midfielder was very number 5 for Arsenal. How
Hmm.
good he is turning on the ball, finding space, beating his man with the first touch, getting the ball out of the back and bringing it forward. And we got Jorginho, and Jorginho was able to do most of that without the physicality. So Jorginho was like a pass first kind of player, and then read the ball next, control where other people are on the pitch. I said I found somebody who did not have Thomas Partey's limitation of being very, very right-footed, right? Because Partey had an angle bias where he was able to make very good quick passes to the right, but when it comes to the left, he takes that extra touch to be sure that the ball doesn't curve out of play, which means effectively Partey was good picking up the ball and turning to his left where he can use the right side of his body. But
Yeah.
when I watched Zubimendi that day, he could do it with his left, he could do it with his right, and he was almost press resistant. It was as if Cazorla could really play DM, not just have the good first touch and first control. And I
Mm.
sent him a message. I can show you that on my phone. I sent him a message to say anybody who signed this guy has got one of the best midfielders ever. And I really thought it was going to be Man City, because I always felt like if they were going to stockpile on talent like they do, or Real Madrid, then they'll probably get Zubimendi. I watched him today, and it felt like I was watching a younger version of Jorginho, like Jorginho who had legs, who could run. The version of Jorginho we watched was an almost aged Jorginho, but every time Jorginho partnered Declan Rice, we had what
Yeah.
I call very good control in midfield, where we basically did not let the other team touch the ball. Now, this is Arsenal today playing a Spanish side from Basque who are very good. They've got several players in their team who have played for the Spanish national
But
team,
will
and they
are we going
didn't
to
touch the
say
ball.
Athletic Club is that good? Honestly, yeah. I'll say, man, they actually we could have brought in this performance against Villarreal, yeah.
No, okay,
But
so if you I want to point out something, right? Against Villarreal, Zubimendi did not start. It was Norgard that started. Right, Norgard started, and at half, you can look it up. At halftime, we brought in Zubimendi, and effectively we pushed them into a corner, like they were all in front of their 18-yard box. So Zubimendi has been dropping this performance where, out of sheer control in the game, the opponents have no. We don't make high mistakes or turnovers in our own end of the pitch, and they're
yeah,
actually packed to the back and they have to then defend. But the challenge with that is the creativity was a bit off, because it felt like everything was U-shaped, and we got a lot of criticism out there to say, look, we're doing that same horseshoe passing. But
yeah.
Zubimendi is absolutely brilliant. He has done something today I've not seen Thomas Partey do in 5 years for Arsenal, right?
What
That is
has it done
cross
today,
the ball.
honestly?
Just cross the ball first time into a dangerous zone, similar to how Kevin De Bruyne does it, similar to how Trent Alexander-Arnold does it. You whip the ball in, even Odegaard doesn't put that amount of pace on the ball, and as soon as the ball was
But
whipped in, I'm
is
like,
that
this
the
has to
job
be a
of
goal.
is that Zubimendi's job, honestly? Yeah? Do you
No,
expect
no,
him
it is
game in, game
not.
out to be whipping crosses
It is
in
not
the
his
box?
job. It is not his job to whip
That's
crosses,
not his
right?
job.
But let me say, you expect someone else in our team to be very good at that, and
Our
that will be the
wingers are supposed to be
no,
doing
no,
that.
that will be the player who is always occupying the space where the cross was whipped from today. I don't want to point any fingers, but think back to that goal, the first goal. The
Yeah,
cross was whipped in from a particular space. It had a lot of curve on it, and all you had to do was get something on the ball. You get a very good, very, very good shot on
header.
target, right? Who
Yeah,
always stands in that half space?
yeah,
There's a player, he wears the captain armband. He's always in that half space. Whenever he floats his own version of that cross, the goalkeeper claims it. It's like a simple pick the ball out of the air because there's not
yeah,
enough
yeah.
pace on it. Sometimes it is hit too much to the back post. I've seen
Hmm.
Saka whipping that same cross for Trossard against Chelsea for an easy tap in. I've seen Saka whipping that same cross for Kai Havertz in our famous yellow and green ugly jersey that we used to steamroll the league and miss our only by 2 points, right? So
Yeah,
then again, we are always having balls in those places, like pass the ball, walk the ball to that right half space, and then we end up trying to do intricate passes that get stolen, and then we have to defend the counter attack. But in
oh,
this case, the brilliance, the football IQ, and I call there's a thing, right? Is that nobody really wants to call it that, but I think we should have a term called football IQ, which is a sheer ability to know what to do at the right time Whip that cross in first time. Do not let anyone come press you. Do not turn back and pass it to the keeper. You've killed the danger. Whip it in first time and see if someone will get on it. And it was
So,
done. And it led to a goal.
yeah, so there's something I also noticed that I think our players, our wingers especially, need to like change their perspectives towards game.
Yes. Yes.
So if you see Lami Yamal and Rafinha running down the wings, there's something they notice about each other. If any one of them sees the other person running, they whip the ball across. Now we've got Martinelli and Saka. Each of them, whenever they have the ball, they never think of sharing it with each other. Like if Martinelli has the ball and Saka is wide, he never thinks of whipping the ball across. We need to start whipping the ball across as much as we can. This will stop us from rotating the ball when it gets to Martinelli, goes back to the central defense, then back to Saka. Why don't you whip the ball like diagonally and make it move as fast as it can?
So I want to answer this question with very few words, but when it comes to Martinelli, I find that I have a lot to say. And
We're not doing no Martinelli. Martinelli should be another. Will be a topic for another
he,
day.
you
Let's.
see,
I'm just saying this because we have Madueke coming in. Because
he's a
I
player.
want us to be
He's a
like
player I
to like
really
always think
like.
about that.
He's a player I really like. But I'm gonna say this: Saka whips the ball in both foot, right? The
But
reason
he
why Saka
doesn't though. He
has
doesn't.
the reason why Saka has three players on him every time is because he can beat his man inside and he can beat his man outside. Saka placed a cross for Gyökeres today, which he hit directly at the keeper. Do you remember that in the game?
Was it a low cross?
It was a low cross, a cutback. So he's gone in front of his man
But
from
will
the
you say Saka
outside.
was wasteful with the chances he got today?
No, I wouldn't say he was wasteful. I think
Or he
for
wasted everything.
today, for a lot of what we saw today was new territory for Saka. We're not used to seeing Saka play in that right half space. We're not used to seeing that. And it
Yeah.
brings me back to our wingers whipping in the ball. Our formation is different. We've got our wingers almost holding the weight, and we've got our fullbacks tucked inside. Lewis Kelly never overlaps. There's a reason
He
why.
never. Why?
We've got our
He never
wing.
overlaps.
You want to think it's a player issue, but I
I
say
don't.
it's people playing to instructions. Because one thing Arteta is known for is he keeps shouting instructions at the touchline, even leaving his technical area. So he is putting them in shape, and the shape ensures that Declan Rice is in the box, Odegaard is in the box, whoever the striker is, Kai Havertz, Jesus, they're in the box,
Yeah.
and Martinelli is stuck out wide, and Saka is stuck out wide. Now, Saka can beat anybody on the dribble. We cannot say the same for Martinelli. And for you to whip in a cross, you've got to be in an area where you're not going to overhit the cross to a goal kick. You're not going to underhit the cross and the defender clears it. You've got to be able to get that space separation from your marker to be able to actually whip in that cross. If you can't, like the way Man City is structured, I don't
Hmm.
think you remember Sterling whipping in a cross. Neither do you remember Mahrez whipping in a cross. But you remember De Bruyne and Bernardo Silva whipping in
Yeah.
lots of crosses. So
Definitely.
the way City is structured, which Arteta is a disciple of how City plays, is their half space players, the central midfielders, are the ones that do the crosses. Salah doesn't cross, Diaz doesn't cross, Robertson does the crossing, Trent Alexander Arnold used to do the crossing. Again, it is who you put in that half space that is gonna be able to cross the ball. So in the case of Liverpool, their winger stuck inside to join the striker, and their striker drops out. Right, Firmino comes out into the midfield. So you've
Mhm.
got two people in there. In the case of Man City, they put Haaland up top,
Yeah.
and they put their wingers wide, and they cross the ball from their half space players, Gundogan, Silva, De Bruyne. In the case of Arsenal, we've got a big problem. The players we have in the half spaces are not able to cross that ball. Odegaard cannot cross with his right. So whenever he holds the ball, people go block off his left. Now, my knowledge or my tactical advice would be try swapping Odegaard and Rice and see what happens.
Nah. But first of all, we know the manager, and if you see the role Rice played today, Rice played more of a defensive midfielder today. Did
But
you
do you,
notice that in the game?
but
And I
again,
could see Zubimendi running. running towards the opponent's post most of the game, and
Again,
I'm
right?
like,
There's a
what
reason why.
what is Arteta trying to do here?
You don't expect Zubimendi to win 25 out of 25 tackles,
He
right?
won't. He
He
won't.
is he is
And
actually
it's concerning
for all of his
because
ability, he's not
yeah.
really your defensive midfielder. He's a holding midfielder. He's a deep line
So
playmaker.
if we have a holding midfielder here, I would say Rice advanced a lot um in attack last season. I would say Rice wouldn't be going in when we pushing the ball for attack. I was saying Rice should be playing more of the DMs. Are we going to be seeing Rice more in the DMs now?
I think they will alternate it. I strongly believe
Alternating is quite very
they
risky
would
here.
alternate it.
So one thing I
Depends
noticed
on
is this. In our last three preseason games, I could see the pressure we mount on opponents when they have the ball is so high, and it leaves us with like only three defenders and a little gap in the midfield. So when the opponents break a counter attack against us, they're definitely going to score. So that issue needs to like be sorted out. What do you think Arteta might do to that?
the solution is simple, right? One reason why people hardly score Liverpool on the break, despite them being a very transitional side, is
Yeah,
that aside the obvious issue where we know Liverpool have fullbacks who are easy to beat,
yeah,
their centre backs are absolutely powerhouses. By powerhouses, I mean it takes a lot of effort for you to dribble past Konate. You know that.
definitely.
Van Dijk is like one of the best 1v1 players in the world when it comes to defending. So Liverpool have that ability to send their fullbacks forward, commit men forward, knowing that they can let their centre backs handle it.
Mm.
In our case, and I saw this happen again today, Saliba still struggles with bouncing balls that are coming from the top and are bouncing on
Yeah,
the floor. Gabriel is much better at that, but then I'm going to say there's a reason why we spent 18 million on yet another defender, right? We brought in Christian Mosquera from Valencia.
yeah,
There's a reason why
looking really sharp.
we've spent extra money on a defender. And I'll tell you what I noticed with Mosquera today. I don't want to use negative language, but he has that dog in him.
Definitely.
He
I
he
mean,
he likes. He's like Gabriel. He likes
yeah,
that. Saliba doesn't
it's a
like that
very
tussle.
physical player.
Saliba is a Rolls Royce player, but
Yeah,
Mosquera wants to get into it with you. Like, and he's
yeah.
way more stronger than he looks.
He likes to
I
engage
think
in those.
Arteta would have to adjust his team such that he puts his best 1v1 defenders on the pitch when he's playing teams that are going to look to hit us on the counter attack. So no Lewis
Transitional team,
Kelly
yeah.
because Mohamed Kudus absolutely got the better of him,
Oh,
right? No Lewis Kelly because
mm,
1v1 I don't think he's very good, but in the defensive shape he is quite decent. I would say
yeah.
play a Timber in left back, play Ben White in right back, and have Gabriel.
Ah,
And if Gabriel is not there, do not play Kiwior. Play Mosquera there.
why? Why Ben White? Why? See, I mean, we done with like Ben White as well, man. I don't know. Looks
Let
looks
me
so.
say this, right. Of all the defenders we have, all the defenders Arsenal have had in the past, let me say 5 years, going back to 2020, only one person hits more accurate long balls than Ben White, and his name is David Luiz, and that was his trademark move. He was absolutely excellent at pinging the ball from the back to the front. You want to have that Ben White ability in matches where people will look to hit you on the break or look to
Yeah,
play long. The game against Liverpool, when Saka absolutely schooled Robertson, sent him to the shop to get candy, it was a long ball pass from Ben White. He has that in his locker. We know he can,
that
but for
was
some
yeah.
reason he rarely does it anymore, even when it comes to crossing the ball. So Timber is a much better right back than Ben White for how we want to play. But I still think Ben White has something to offer, especially in different game states. So to
Mm.
answer your question, what do I think we can do to stop transition? Nothing kills transition faster than knowing that when you lose the ball, you can also be counter attacked with a long ball into the channels. Now, Zubimendi gave a couple of long. I'm going back to him, sorry, because I'm absolutely mind blown by this guy. There's a
Yeah.
chance Saka missed in like the 83rd minute. It was him through on goal and he tried to
Oh
cut back. And
yes.
yeah, that one
Yes.
time pass, right? That first time ball over the defense, that Jorginho
Yes.
kind of pass, that David Luiz kind, it came from Zubimendi, and that's that quick thinking football IQ.
Was
Oh,
it
they're
from
trying.
Zubi?
It was from Zubi, yes, you can watch it again. It was from Zubi. So we're with the. Of course, Odegaard has never given a pass like that in how many games,
Ah,
right? Rice also switches the ball often, but not that quick. So we're with the ball, we want the ball. Rather than turn around and pass it to Saliba, to give it to Raya, to give it to whoever, he just looks up, sees Saka trying to make a run, and he just sends the ball. And I believe Saka was so surprised with the fact that this guy saw me. I want to say something, right? One of Alexis Sanchez's interviews, he said that he always makes the run forward when Ozil is with the ball because he believes, right, Ozil will see him.
yeah, Ozil definitely
Yeah,
sees.
like the
Yeah.
same thing today with Gyökeres. He kept making that run, knowing that one of these guys, Saka, Odegaard, one of these guys would see me. And Zubimendi saw him make the run. That's something we've not done in a while. And that brings me again to answer your question about Martinelli. He never looks up.
Nah,
He
leave Martinelli
never looks
aside,
up.
please. I think
Look,
we're gonna have a different session for Martinelli,
the,
yeah.
the goal Saka scored today, right, when Martinelli passed the ball to Saka, I can bet
Bro,
good money on it, right, that Saka screamed, touch, touch, pass, and then he passed it sideways. He did not look up
bro,
once.
actually these guys have made me like lose faith in them because when the ball got to Martinelli, I was like, bruh, this guy has fumbled the bag again. The same
Again,
thing went for the Havertz ball. Bro, I actually said nah. Nah.
the Havertz
I
ball,
just I just
the
took my eyes
Havertz
away from
ball
the
was
screen. I'm
was was
like,
from Saka, and again, it brings me back to the point of
bro,
vision, because
nine out of 10 times Havertz is not netting that ball.
Saka
Nine out
plays
of
with his
10.
head up. Okay, no, no, no. So we know that Havertz has been
Bro,
reported to have
wait, wait,
bulked
wait,
up.
wait. You've talked about the second goal here.
Yeah.
The ball from Nelly to Saka was unbelievable. Did you expect Nelly to pass that ball, or
No.
did you expect him to go
And
with the
that's why
ball?
I'm telling you, Saka was probably screaming, Nelly, pass, pass, just pass to the. He was literally, because they were close to each other and he would have screamed at him, pass, the keeper
Yeah.
is coming, right? If
Wait,
Nelly was on the other side of the pitch where he cannot hear Saka, he probably
yeah.
will not look up and he
He
will do
will
what he
not even
always does. He will kick it
wait.
with his left foot and get a corner.
Who made the pass to Nelly? Was it Zubi or Odegaard?
It was Odegaard. It was
Was
Odegaard.
Odegaard, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
It was
So
Odegaard.
at some point in the game, I was seeing a lot of forward passes, like passes
Yes.
down the middle,
Yes.
and it was coming from Zubimendi alone. And it got me thinking, bro, I don't know why Arsenal keep getting players that are not for the correct positions. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
Arsenal, why are we not getting the right players for the correct positions? The passes Zubimendi are making some deadly passes that I expect those passes to be coming from Odegaard. But they are not
Okay.
even coming from Odegaard.
Let me say precisely that's as quickly as possible. In the words of Portugal Bahiagmo, Odegaard doesn't attempt risky passes. Today, he gave
Hmm.
the ball away more than 5 times while trying to pass forward.
Yeah.
And I wanted to complain about it, but then I realized he is now playing to different instruction. Most of the teams were playing to a different instruction today, and the
Mhm.
instruction was when we get the ball and there's space to attack, please pass it forward. Right now, mindfully, Odegaard might not have refined that ability because for so long his passes are not more than a 5 yard pass to Saka to dribble five people, or
Yeah, to
Waneri,
Saka to
or
Ben
he'll pass the
White.
ball to a Ben White and then Ben White will recycle, he will take another position and he's free. Today he was trying things and we got a
Yeah.
reward for it, which then says our very stubborn coach who has refused to change the same system for 3 years is
Yeah.
actually trying to play a bit more vertical, which is good. And it brings me back to something that happened today. Obviously, when we signed the guy, I was one of the most vocal to say it's not a signing we need. We don't need a Saka backup because Saka is Saka. And all we
Eh,
needed was someone to take minutes off Saka, not a competition. In
Yeah, I
that
mean,
sense, you don't spend 50 million on a backup player. You spend 50 million above to strengthen the position. And
so
I saw
Madis is
them
not
play
is not a
him.
backup for Saka, yeah.
Who, who's that?
Madueke,
I
Madueke,
saw them play him the two matches he's played for Arsenal so far. Sorry, he has played two
left
games
wing.
for Arsenal so far, and he has been deployed in the left wing. And I'm
Yeah.
saying, right, recall we had this conversation. I told you to resolve our left hand dynamics, we need someone who can run with the ball in the left or someone who can pass the ball in the left. Right now, we
Mm.
have none. Rice prefers to play more defensive. Merino is flat footed. He is not quick on the spring. Fabio Vieira would have been perfect, but he plays like everybody should take it easy on him, like it's not the Premier. He plays like, oh, you guys are running too much, slow down, right? That's how he plays his football. Like, you guys are doing too much, slow down. Let's play like we play in the
Relax.
Portuguese league. It's the Premier. No one's
Manu
gonna
also
slow
plays
down
like
for
that
you.
also.
Exactly, that's my point, right? So you need someone dynamic, and I said we should get a Xavi Simons. I've told you this before. I told you the absolute best player for Arsenal is Florian Wirtz. I told you this almost more than 18 months ago now. Wirtz has gone to Liverpool to be that guy that Odegaard is not for us, to make those plays happen. The next best player we could have gotten is Frankie de Jong, but Barcelona are not going to sell him because he will play the left midfield role for you very well. The third best player we could have gotten is a Xavi Simons, who is good carrying the ball there. But ironically, if we get Eberichi Eze and we play him as another attacking midfielder, then I mean this very, very frankly, one of Martinelli or Odegaard will lose their place in the team,
No,
right? Because Eze is a
definitely will.
powerful carrier. Now, I thought we would get Leao, stick him in the left wing, and just let him do his thing, right? Let people
Yeah,
focus on Saka and Odegaard on the right, give Leao space on the left. He's an
definitely.
absolute bulldozer of a runner.
See, regardless anyone of them, see Liao or Izzy, yeah, down on the left wing. I think they're both threats. Leave Eze
But
on the left wing.
but
I feel
did you
Eze is a
see
crazy
the
threat.
cross from Madueke to Gyökeres
Um,
for the header?
he made a lot of crosses today. Yeah, Madueke made a lot of crosses, and those
The
crosses are not
crosses
easy for Martinelli to
the
make because
crosses
it's
are
not left
good.
footed.
The crosses are
Very,
good.
very good.
And
Yeah,
I'll say
very
this,
good
and this is
crosses.
one thing this is why, similar to us getting Gyökeres and everyone saying, oh, they
Yeah,
don't think you'll be a good fit for Arsenal. The first thing I said is, Merino scored 9 goals for us, playing in a false nine position he has never played in his life. We
yeah.
don't have we don't have a creativity issue, we have an efficiency issue. In as much that when we the little we create, we are not very efficient. If
Yeah.
Merino can score 9 goals playing striking, it convinced me that anybody who plays centre forward for us will do well.
First,
Havertz scored, was it 26 goals and some assists for us? This was a Chelsea reject. Gabriel Jesus had his best goal numbers for us. This he came out of Man City. And Ketia was actually crossing the 10 goal limits every season for us. So
yeah.
whoever plays there now brings me back to this Martinelli Trossard issue, where one of them is too slow and not dynamic enough to play the left wing the way we do, and the other one doesn't even look up. Any decent left winger. We've been linked with Nico Williams. We've been linked with Lukman, Ademola Lukman. We've been linked with Eze. We were linked with Bino Gittins for Chelsea, who I watched by the way, and I thought, yeah, this guy is a powerful runner. I think we need a Martinelli level runner who is efficient and actually bothers to look up. You know how whatever you want to do in life, Nas, if
Let's
you want to
let's
throw
leave
a dart, right,
let's leave
very quickly,
Martinelli out of this.
if you want
Let's
to
leave
throw a
Martinelli out of
dart, if
this.
you want to throw a stone, if you want to pass a ball, the first thing you have to do is look at where you want it to go. If you
Yeah.
don't look,
He
you
did
cannot
the
execute.
number of crosses Martinelli did that thing for today, I can't count. So on the last goal, for Kai Havertz, wonderful goal, took it well. I didn't believe. I think that's the fastest I've seen Havertz run with the ball going towards the opponent's goal post. I've never seen him make that kind of run before. Was a beautiful run, clean goal, very clean goal. But I never believed he could score it. He shocked me. Yeah,
Okay,
I was shocked.
Man City, Chelsea, UEFA Champions League final.
Nah, that's a different ball. That's a different ball. No, no,
That
that's a
was
different ball. Yeah,
Havertz sprinting.
yeah. I mean, he's all bulked up. I expect him to be
No,
slower now.
there is a bunch of myths in football that kind of people just allow to go on. right? Like number
Mm.
one, Saka's not a good dribbler. And you watch the guys, you look at the guy's number, you be like, where'd all the dribbles come from, right?
Wait, wait.
Another stupid myth that a lot of people forget a lot,
Yeah.
was that Ozil is very slow. That was a huge lie. That Ozil was slow. Ozil was one of the fastest counter-attacking players in the Arsenal team, right?
But is that as
Another
fast though?
huge, another huge myth that a lot of people tend to actually carry around, right? Which is a huge myth, is that the more you put the ball in the box, the more you would score. Amorim tested it. Arteta tested it. There was a match
Liverpool,
United played
Liverpool.
31
That's the way
crosses.
Liverpool play.
Again, it's not putting the ball in the box, it's the efficiency in the box. Liverpool have one of the most efficient forward lines if you take out Darwin Nunes, and I say take out Darwin Nunes because he misses some very good sitters, right? I'm going to say this. A huge myth that we have is saying Havertz is slow. Havertz has never been slow. Havertz is inefficient in as much as he is inconsistent. Some days he hits a shot, he scores. Other days he miskicks it, right?
When you
Some
say
d-
kick this ball today,
I think he allowed the defender get too close to him, but
he
then again
no, he
he did
shielded the ball
not.
very well. He
Yeah,
shielded the ball very
he
well.
did not want to get in front of the defender because that would then mean he had to shoot with his right,
Or go down for a foul, which he does very often.
which again, right? He
I
knows
I, I
I
was
don't
even
want to.
expecting him to go down.
I don't want to shoot. I don't want to shoot with my right. I'm going to shoot with my left, and I'm going to hold you off. Havertz has done this to Cucurella against Chelsea. When guess what? Odegaard played on the left. He was able to give accurate passes into the channel.
Yeah,
So again,
yeah.
right? I'll bring it. I'll bring it down to this. I'll say it's exciting time for Arsenal. The first 5 games of the preseason was actually not it. But then
It
again,
was
we
it, it
had
was not it, and when the striker came in, it was just I think the first game he played was so worrisome because
no. The first
none
game
of
was
them.
was a nightmare because in that game we played Christian Nogard, we played
Yeah,
Waneri, and we played Declan Rice. Sorry,
yeah,
it
and
was
none
it
of them
was a
could like find the
stiff
striker.
midfield. Yes, no, but none of them could find the striker. And I'll talk about Waneri, but not today. Not today.
Oh,
And
nah,
what I
that'll
want to
be for
say
some other
about him
time.
is, what I want to say about him is what we are bashing Martinelli for,
Mm.
that he doesn't look up. When Waneri is with the ball and he gets into his
Oh,
stride, he actually doesn't want to look up.
it doesn't. One there is I think is a character we need to like talk more of, and where actually suits him because where Ateta is trying to play him now, I think that is a disaster.
No,
I think we should just drop the boy in the wing because if you put him,
no,
we are trying to play him where Odegaard plays. He loses the ball a lot.
no. So what
He
I'll say is,
loses the ball
and
a
this is
lot.
something I wouldn't have recommended to the team, right? If you
Mm.
compare Odegaard to some of the midfielders we've had before, compare
Yeah,
Odegaard to, you realize he's a different mix. We used to have midfielders who could turn on a swivel, like Cazorla. He could turn at any angle. We used to have midfielders who could give a through ball from the tightest of space. We had Ozil. We used to have midfielders who could walk into your defense with the ball glued to their leg. We had Wilshere. We had midfielders who could shoot with very little backdrop. We had Ramsey. We had midfielders who could wiggle their way in tight spaces. We had Rosicky. Right. At some point, we had some very technical midfielders that ensured that we could break almost anybody down, and all we begged Arsene Wenger for was a decent backline. He
no,
he
that's well.
he had Koscielny. All he needed was another defender who would be available to complement and a solid fullback. We were stuck with Debuchy. We got Metasaka. He got injured. We get Gabriel Paulista. He didn't really stay as long. We got
Yeah.
Flamini back for like a few. Imagine we never really got that defender, and then we went and got Mustafi, right, to partner Koscielny when Metasaka left. Again, it comes down to it, like we always left ourselves short in defense, even though we had one of the best midfield, and we still left ourselves short in attack until when Wenger was about to go, when he got Aubameyang, who was an absolute bagsman. Now I tell you all of this to say, right, Waneri is a technical midfielder. he can dribble, he can turn. He just hasn't unlocked that final delivery ball yet. Again,
What's the final delivery boy
he is
have him in prime?
17. He's 17. Let's not forget he's 17. At 17, a lot of the players in our first team were nowhere close to their own first team. Right. The final delivery ball is when you're in the youth academy and you're kind of like a superstar. People kind of know what you're up to. People give you space. People
Yeah,
respect you. You're faster than most people. You're more technical than
very,
most.
very
So you've
fast.
got that advantage over almost everyone. When you make it the jump to senior football, the defenders are faster. The defenders are stronger.
Yeah,
People are able to recover very. You dribble somebody 5 yards behind. In the next 6 7 yards, he has caught up back with you. He has recovered his pace. People are faster. So what he has to do is to learn that you can't beat two, three, four players without actually letting go of the ball, or else they will close you down and
definitely.
force you to
Yeah,
turn back.
yeah.
Right. So
Think
Wilshere was good at one thing, right? He could ride a tackle. Wilshere could ride a tackle. He could get knocked down, win free kicks in dangerous area to the point where when you play against Wilshere, almost every time, before this 48th minute, at least one person has got a yellow card in the other team's midfield. He has facilitated that. That led to him getting injured a lot as well. But then
mhm.
that meant when Arsenal start running the ball in your midfield, you're actually afraid to tackle anyone because you just give away a silly free kick or get booked for the rest of the game. Now, Waneri can be our own version of Wilshere if he's platformed correctly. That means teaching him to play across the midfield positions and not coming in from the right. And Arteta hasn't done that yet.
Um, I see. That's a nice take. That's actually a very nice take. So, one thing, final on Waneri. There's something he does. I mean, he dribbles one, two, three. He loses the ball on the fourth, or he loses the ball on the third player. His recovery, well, his recovery is kind of like very slow. It's like those kind of senior players, kind of if they believe if they lose the ball, the rest of the team should work for it, like Neymar kind of thing.
Again,
Like if they lose the ball,
and this is where our developmental team have to really play a big part.
yeah,
This is a player that everyone talked about since he was about 13, 12. He had been the best player in his age group for a very long time. What that does to you is you know you're the best.
yeah,
Right? Everyone around you knows you're the best. Similar to what you're saying, like Neymar knows any day he's the best. Messi knows any day he's the best. But as an academy player, you need to run your socks off. You make it into
definitely,
the first team, you've got a statement to make, yes.
yeah.
And recovery wise, I think he has to do a lot more defensively for the
He
team
has to, he has
because
to.
I see Saka putting in shifts. I
Bro, I
saw
saw Declan
Madueke
Rice make one
win.
mad recovery run today. Did you notice that run?
Yeah,
I
so
was like, bro, what are you on?
what are you on? Again, right? I saw
Bro,
Madueke make defensive tackles today, like press his
uh,
man, be very
and
aggressive
I
on the
think I could
ball.
actually see it on in the entire team because I think what happened might have been when last did we get knocked 3 goals? I mean, it's been a very long time. I think in months, no one has scored like 3 goals past us except I think PSG, yeah,
It
except
was
maybe
just
PSG.
two. We don't take more than two every match,
Bro,
right?
and I think that thing perhaps Arteta had like maybe confronted each of them and like say telling each of them that bro, you need to fight for the ball back.
You need
And
to tackle.
everyone was putting in the challenge and I was very happy with that. Every single person was putting on the
So
challenge.
I
And I
can
could see
excuse
a
I can
difference.
excuse the new guys
Yeah,
like Gyökeres now or Zubimendi or Merino to say, oh,
yeah.
they're not used to this level of running in the Premier League because
Oh
everyone's
man.
fast. But for Waneri, I'll say Miles Lewis Kelly absolutely covers his position.
He
I've seen
covers the
that
ball.
man try to track back and win the ball when he plays. There's really no excuse, even if you're the best player. When you lose the ball, the press starts from you. That's the rule, yeah. You
Yeah.
lose the ball. Even when we play local football like five-a-side and all, when you lose the ball, you have to be the first one to press.
Hmm.
Now, we're saying you beat the first guy, you've beat the second guy. You don't have to do three, four, five,
You
right?
don't.
If I
Release the ball
have it
quick.
as part of your gameplay, I beat one, I beat two, I pass, I open up again for, the touch back to me, and then I can use that extra touch to get into space or give someone else the ball. There's some coaching to be done for him, but again, I don't want to be too critical of academy players because again, he's 17.
Yeah,
Dalman is 15, Skelly is 17. They're still teenagers. They've got a lot of
there's a
time
lot
to
of room
learn
for
the game.
improvement here.
Yes,
Yeah,
but then again, certain things have to be non-negotiable. I've seen Saka almost putting in full-back stints, right? I've seen other
mm,
guys run from back to press the keeper, and then when they got the ball into our half, he was there. And again, I'm one of Odegaard's biggest critic, but he runs his socks off. So
definitely.
you've got to do your own share of running. No one's there to run for you. You have to run as a
Yeah.
team, suffer together
Um,
as a team. So that's
that's
my take
that's
on him
that's
as
a
well.
nice review. So overall, what are you going to rate these following players out of 10? I'm just going to be mentioning their names. At right back we have Timber
I'll
today.
give Timber right back a 6, simply because he didn't have much to do. We pretty much had them pushed
Yeah.
back.
All right. Saliba
I give him a 7 because when
7.
we when we had when we had when we
He was
had
pretty decent today.
issues at the back, he was there to clean up. I know I mentioned he let go of a few lobbed balls. He struggles with them, but
Yeah.
then it's difficult to get past Saliba as a unit. Right, once the ball's on the
Yeah.
floor and you're running at him, he's absolutely good on the tackle. So yeah, I give him a
Ga-
7.
How about Gabriel?
I'll give Gabriel a 6 for two reasons, right? Most times he passed the ball back to Saliba when we're building out of the back. I can put it down to fitness, and I didn't really see him play the 90 like Saliba did.
Yeah.
So, but Gabriel was pretty solid, so I'll give him a 6. I need to see more from him because I have a very high standard for Gabriel. Gabriel is our tank. Gabriel is our defender. Saliba is our Rolls Royce guy, but Gabriel is the one that does the dirty job, so I need him back. So I give him a 6.
Calafiori?
I give him a 6 as well. He did very well in the short game he played. He certainly contributed more than Miles did when Miles came on.
Yeah.
But he, his availability is really starting to concern me. It's almost like another Gabriel Jesus kind of issue, an Abu Dhabi kind of issue where
Yeah.
I've got a world class player that I just cannot get to play on the pitch for an extended period of time.
That was a serious one. Zubi.
I give him a 9 because there's almost
Nah, I
very
wouldn't.
little he did wrong.
We're not gonna dwell into why you giving him a 9. So you give him a 9, yeah?
I give him a 9.
Deck,
I
Dex.
I'll give Deck a 7, and a 7 because he's now in the Ballon d'Or conversation, right?
It was
I
quite quiet today.
I expected that's what I was just about to say
It
that,
was
right?
very quiet. And
Because
why was it quiet? I think because he didn't advance forward so much. He
at,
was holding like he
at
was
the
doing a lot of
level
defensive
Declan
work
Rice
today.
is playing at, right? At the level Rice is playing at, he has to do absolutely exceptionally for you to then see that Rice is on the pitch. It's when
Yeah,
Rice is not on the pitch that you see it now.
yeah,
So he's
Rice is
gotten to
not
that
there.
level where he puts in solid performances and he just goes under the radar because other people are playing, right? But he made the tackles, he made the runs, you can check his stat, he made very good passes and pass selections. He crossed very well. I still think he's been played in too many different positions and we should play him in right central midfield, right? But I'll give him a 7 because he's solid, no issues, no complaints, no cards, nothing. Good game, quiet game for him, but good game overall.
Odegaard.
I give him a 7 as well because he got the assist. He tried to make things happen. He forced it on some occasions, but it was a much better outing from him that we've seen previously, right?
Yeah.
And the calm he gives to the team in certain moments, like when we've got penalties, when we're winning, when we're starting game, just the conversation, he keeps things ticking. He's a good captain, I must say, but I always expect more from him, and he always seems to just fall short of my expectation. But today I'll give him a
Mm.
solid 7. Good game from him.
Saka.
I'm gonna drop his rating down to a 7 as well. Could have been an 8. Goal, assist, it could have had more. But
Okay.
he, with Saka now, the team seems to be a recurring issue of I expected more from you. People are
Mm.
now expecting you're like the star boy of the team. That goal he failed, that shot he failed to take in the 83rd minute was the difference between Saka getting a 7 and Saka getting a 9. We expect Zubimendi kind of perfectionist performance from Saka now. Like, you've been doing this for long enough. You're no longer in conversations with Brandon Williams, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Cole Palmer, Phil Foden. You're not in that conversation anymore. You're approaching, right? You're no longer in the Copa Trophy, Golden Boy conversations. No, you're in Player of the Year conversations now. So we hold you to Mohamed Salah standard, right? We hold you to Haaland, Isaac, Yamal, Rodrigo,
Wow, really?
Vini. We hold you to a very high standard now. So you've got to put in those numbers. He's
All
23 now.
right.
So yeah,
Um,
7.
uh, Martinelli.
Yeah, it's gonna be a 6 for me because he got an assist as well, but he did too many wrong in the game. Now, granted, we won by 3 goals to nil. If it was a match where chances we had to come by and the chances we got were what Martinelli turned into corner kicks, we would be
Yeah.
absolutely fuming by now. And when Madueke came in, he showed us that if you look up, you might actually find someone in the box. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a 6 for me. He did his bit, defended well, contributed to the goal, but still a bit more expected from Martinelli, especially given the fact that he started around the same time as Saka, and we're
Yeah.
holding Saka to such a very high level, but we're still having to talk about Martinelli finding people in the box, Martinelli making the right decision on the ball, and actually beating his man 1v1. So yeah, that would be a 6.
So finally, Gyökeres.
That would be a 7 for me. I'm used to seeing Havertz press relentlessly, but he didn't play as much minutes as I thought, but he was instrumental with his link-up play.
Did
I
he look
saw him.
heavy? Did he look heavy while running? Because
Everyone
I
looks
feel it
heavy
was.
when running. I feel he
No,
was
I
heavy
feel
as well,
he
but
wasn't moving faster.
I don't
Or is
have I
that
don't have
is
a
it like?
base player to compare him with, right? I can't compare him to say, oh, he was running like this before and now something's changed. We can bet both of us said, oh, Havertz was actually very fast today. That's because we've seen
Yeah.
Havertz run a number of times, but we can't say the same for Gyökeres. And if this is his base sprint, then I think he needs to work on his speed. But then again, I
No.
saw him absolutely burst through the line in a counter attack, and I know he's faster
Ooh.
than this.
Yeah,
Is it a
yeah,
case
yeah.
of
I saw that. I saw
fitness?
that. It could be.
It
It
could
could
be,
be.
yes. So that's a 7 from me for him. Again,
Yeah.
I'm holding him to a very high standard. 57 goals for Sporting. Coming into the Arsenal side, I expect goals from him. So today was a good game. Got a goal, almost got another. So that's like a BAU, business as usual, regular day in the office. I want exceptional performances from this guy, and I will hold him to that standard as well. But he actually was a delight to watch today.
Thank you very much, Aces. That's gonna be all for today. Kindly like, share, and kind of subscribe. This will go on YouTube surely very soon.
Yep.
It's Nasty Jones. Cheers, everyone. Have
Yep.
a good
Cheers,
day.
guys.
See you, man.
Absolutely love
Thanks.
it. Have a great one. Bye.
Thank you very much, bro.